I'm Rhonda Finfrock of Fruitful Life Studio, and today I will be making beautiful trays that can be adapted for any season. And of course, I'm using luscious, beautiful DIY paint. It all started with this mini wooden tray kit. I painted it for one of the 12 Days of Woodland Christmas Live over on my Facebook page, Fruitful Life Studio, and then I became obsessed with painting trays. In this video, I will be painting these 3 tray kits that are part of my IOD gingerbread contest entry. I'm a stockist, so I really can't enter, but I want to inspire others to use their creativity and DIY paints, IOD products to transform simple trays into beautiful decor pieces. I started out by flipping the trays over and finding the center of the tray. I was going to leave this part unpainted so that the glue would adhere better. I would suggest just YouTubing it like I did and see the tools you have to figure out how to find the center of a circle. Using a pencil, I traced circles around each of the trays so that painting my design elements would be easier to map out. The pencil marks were covered easily with the white paint in my touch-up session. I measured the circumference of the circle and divided it by 8 so that I would know how wide I want to make my swirls on one of the tops of the trays. Then I made a template for one of the swirls so that I could use it over and over again. I think I could use this with any size tray. Now that my designs were mapped out, it was time for some detail painting. I will list all the colors of paint on the end screen of this video. For the details, I first used liner brushes and then came back in to the bigger areas using a larger brush. The checkered patterns, I needed to make sure I had an even number of squares so that 2 colors wouldn't end up next to each other. I also used water when I was painting detail because DIY paint is thick, and using that water just a bit helped it flow easily onto my designs. For the Harlequin pattern, I drew a line down the center of the pedestals and then drew angles to have it represent diamonds. Now, as you can see, I made a mess. The lines were all over the place, but I have some clever disguise camouflage techniques coming up, so stay tuned. Making plans, what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed. I had all the basic designs painted, but before I went any further, I needed to clean everything up and erase those pencil marks by just coating all the mistakes and sketches with the white paint. Vintage linen is what I'm using. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. The tray kits, the paints, the paint brushes can all be purchased on my website, fruitfullifestudio.com. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I kept adding detail and design to fill in negative spaces and to accent these trays. I kept going until I thought, okay, I'm done. Now it's time to camouflage some of those wonky lines. Golden Ticket Liquid Patina dry brushed and blended into these trays. It was like a miracle. It hid all those crooked lines and areas that I needed to straighten or blur so that your eye went to the gold and not the mistakes underneath. To make all my polka dots, I dipped the end of a paintbrush directly into the golden ticket each time I wanted to make a dot.
Racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah. They said, say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah. Frozen, neck is frozen.
To seal the trays, I used Big Top, but I painted all the red parts first with the Big Top to seal them off, just in case I had any bleeding of the marquee red.
Carol singing, favorite season, sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging. Carol singing, favorite season. They say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah. They say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah.
It was time to glue the pedestals and candlesticks to the rounds to finish off my trays. I used a very strong wood glue. I also used cans of DIY paint to weight down the candlesticks until they were dry.
Need no Grinch types, no Ebenezer, don't believe this.
The last step before sealing the bottoms was to stencil my business logo. I had spent a lot of time on these trays and I wanted to sign them.
Carol singing, favorite season. They said, say Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah.
These trays are finally finished, but it's just the beginning. I need to go and finish the birdhouses that sit atop these beautiful decor trays. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rhonda Church Finfrock, or search Fruitful Life Studio to see how my gingerbird village turns out. The video is coming soon.
Merry Christmas, everybody.